Oh, nice. Good.
That'll be
You know, Hudson's going to do the middle school.
Okay, can we call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Pledge of Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and welcome to the regular April meeting of the Greencastle School Board. First item on the agenda is adjustments to the agenda, Mr. Gibney.
Yeah, I think the only adjustment is to pull item 1 under personnel out for a separate vote.
All right, we can do that. Well, I guess we need to make a motion to adjust the agenda.
I'll make a motion that we adjust the agenda accordingly.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is public comments regarding agenda items. Does anyone have anything to say about an agenda item? Okay, hearing none. Next item on the agenda is recognition. Mr. Gibney.
Yep, Mr. Roberts.
Well, good evening. I have Miss Maddie Hatton here. She is a second grader at Ridpath, and she was nominated by her second grade teacher, Miss Ward, as well as our librarian. So Maddie was selected as Student of the Month because she consistently makes the right choices at Ridpath, no matter where she is in the building. She follows directions quickly, makes everyone in our school feel welcomed, and is ready for any challenge. She works hard every day and is a great friend to others. We're so proud of Maddie, and she definitely deserves the title of Student of the Month. So congratulations, Maddie.
Mr. McHugh.
I'd like to introduce you to Waylon Shepard, our Deer Meadows Student of the Month for March. Waylon is a second grader in Miss Angie Wood's class, and he was nominated by Miss Wood and by one of our specialist teachers. And then as our voting went through, we had votes from first grade and kindergarten teachers as well. So that tells you the reach that he has in our school. They wrote, Waylon works hard each and every day and is kind to classmates. He tries his best and always has nice things to say to others. Waylon is always respectful and thoughtful. He consistently works toward his goals, and he's made tremendous progress this year. We're very proud of Waylon. Waylon Shepard.
Mrs. Eldred.
Our Student of the Month is Soul Cat. And I'm going to read what the teacher wrote. So Mrs. Lewis. Soul is one of the kindest, most helpful, and hardworking students. Every day, Soul comes to school motivated to do her best and to be a good role model for others. She is always willing to go out of her way to lend a helping hand to her peers and teachers. Soul has grown in so many ways this year, by earning an honor roll all 3 quarters proves her determination to succeed at TV. She is a friend to all, making sure everyone feels cared for and included. I'm so proud of Soul this year and will miss her dearly when she moves on to 5th grade. Congratulations.
My student could not be here tonight, but her name is Anna Martinez. She's a 6th grader. I can read you the info about her if you'd like. Okay. She's a fantastic kid. She does a great job working with other students and always encourages them to do their best. She has a super positive attitude with completing her work, and it is contagious. Everyone around her has that same positive attitude. She always works hard, and she's lovely to have in class. She was nominated by 2 teachers, not just one.
our student was sick today, so we would like to recognize her in May. That is Brooke Tyson, and she also was nominated by 2 teachers.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the approval of the consent agenda, which consists of regular board meeting minutes from March 25th, 2024, the allowance of claims, financial report, and personnel report parts 1 and 2. Mrs. Roman.
Yes, hello. Twice a year, we have where am I going with this? I have no idea. Twice a year, we have 2 months where we have 3 payrolls. That's what I want to say. March was one of those months. So you're going to see 3 payrolls here. The first one was dated March 1st, but for a total payroll of $495, $690, $75. And as usual, we have the payroll taxes and retirement. Total for the March 1st payroll was $141,263.50. The second regular payroll in March was dated March 15th for a total payroll of $488,009.97. And payroll and retirement $137,154.73. And then the third and final payroll for March 2024 was dated the 29th, $439,38.22. And payroll taxes and retirement was $139,484.56. Did anyone have any questions about any of the payrolls for March? Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on to a list of prepays for March 2024. As you look through this list, did anyone have any questions about any prepays for March? No? Okay. Total prepays for March 2024 is $305,230.48. Next, we'll move on to a list of claims dated today, April 22nd, 2024. As you look through this list, did you have any questions about any claims dated today? Again, there's really nothing unusual on this list.
I see we paid for our computers.
Yes. Yep. That looked familiar to you. Yeah. Did we have any other questions or comments? No? Okay. Total claims dated today, April 22nd, 2024, $436,224.29. We'll go ahead and move on to the financial report. This would be the balance in all funds as of March 31st, 2024. You'll see an education fund, the balance was $3,553,415.87. If we go down about 3 more lines to Fund 300, that's Operations Fund. Balance at the end of March 2024 is $368,633.31. If we go ahead and go to the very last page of the fund report, we're going to see the balance in all funds is $8,176,474.96. Next in your packet, you're going to see the bank to fund statement. You'll see that we're balanced to the penny, which is exactly what we want to do. We want to make sure that our bank balances balance with our fund balances, and we do. So we're good. The next thing you're going to see is the fund transfer report. You'll see a couple of asterisks there and something highlighted. It's about a deposit that was receipted incorrectly. That is a mistake. Disregard that. You're going to see the correction next month. So the total transfer that we're going to go ahead and note on here is $495,484.80. However, next month you're going to see it basically reverse that $18,330 entry. And then the rest of them are just regular bank transfers that we have each month. Then we also have the school lunch transfer, and then we also have the education to ops transfer. Did anyone have any questions about that? No? Okay. Finally, the last thing we're going to go through is the bond expenditures. You're going to see to date through March 2024, total expenditures in bond 2021 is $31,715,9746. And then in bond 2022, we did not have any expenditures during the month of March. So our total expenditures through March 2024, $3,950,95.87. And pending any questions, I'd like to submit for approval.
Well, we will hold off on that approval until we're done with the personnel report. Thanks. Next is the personnel report in the consent agenda, and we're going to approve item number 1 separately.
Yeah, so item 1 is the transfer of Yolanda Goodpaster from GHS assistant principal to Greencastle High School principal. The interview committee and I, made up of teacher leaders and members in the counseling department. We had over a dozen applicants for the position. We interviewed 5 candidates for the position. Ultimately, Yolanda rose to the top of that based on the qualities that we are looking for in the leader of Greencastle High School. And just with the goals and priorities, we feel like she is the best candidate to lead GHS into the future and build on past accomplishments and work on continued growth at the high school.
Okay, sounds good.
I had a couple of teachers just say they were excited about Yolanda taking on the principal role, and it's nice to have good stability there.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations. I'm assuming you have a little bit of a speech prepared or something.
Yeah, a couple hours.
Okay. Well, congratulations. And then the rest of the personnel report. So can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda minus number 1 on personnel report part 1, which has already been approved,
I will.
or
move-
part 2, excuse me. So,
Yep. And I'll second.
okay, a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is reports, and first from the Greencastle Teachers Association.
Yep, so they weren't able to come this evening, but they did want me to share, specifically with regards to some of our association members and non-association members at TZ, with preparing for the IRE3 remediation and the retest. We've had a large number of teachers step up and volunteer, or not volunteer, but to tutor our students after school in preparation for the retest.
Hope it goes well.
My turn?
Yep.
All right. We are in the middle of testing season. Very exciting at TZ in the middle school. So the middle school started testing last week, continuing this week. TZ is going to start this week, continue next week. So far, so good. Knock on wood. We haven't had too many issues. So we're just going to keep going with that, and we'll finish up that first week of May. I'm also really appreciative of the teachers through the Science of Reading grant. We've had a lot of extra training that they've been able to do, modules that they are completing on their own time, and they have done a lot, and their questions and thoughts on what we can do to be better next year are just creating lots of great conversations in the schools. And so I'm really excited to see the impact that we're going to have on all of our kids with this. So that's all I have.
Mr. Gibney.
Yep, and back to me again. Just want to highlight, this is obviously a busy time of year, and a lot of times we spend talking about our accomplishments in athletics. And we've had some other student groups perform very well as of late. Once again, our academic competition teams continue to lead the way, not only locally, but across the state. And so we have several teams going back to compete for state academic Super Bowl championships again. So we look to add to those totals. And then Ms. Munoz-Levy and Mr. Hansen, the band and choir, we've had a lot of students be recognized as of late with that, and their accomplishments with that as well, and look to continue to perform in competitions with that as well. So I wanted to highlight those those student groups. We're obviously also had the play, we had putting on the hits, so our schools excel heavily in the fine arts as well. We also had the top 10% dinner over at DePaul University. That was a great evening of recognizing our students' accomplishments and also hearing about some of the educators that have made a great impact as well. And then just a couple of things today. If you've been over to the stadium, you'll notice that the handrails have been installed on the stadium bleachers. So we've waited on those to arrive, and it's over there earlier. Hopefully that'll help keep people upright. And then, once again, we're working to finish up the high school building project. Just working through some quality control items and then finishing up some main areas, particularly the gym, the gathering stairs, and polished concrete, and then just some remaining punch lists. So we are getting closer. We're making progress. You may have heard that Kelly had said that we haven't had any additional bond 2022 money spent out as of late, and that's because we're withholding money until they get it completed to our satisfaction. So we are trending along there, and we will get to that point. And then the last item I have is JAG Parent Night. JAG Parent Night at the middle school will be on May 1st. I can't read my own writing there. I think from 5 to 8.
5:30.
5:30 to 8. And so looking forward to rolling out that new program next school year.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is old business, and we have no old business. This brings us to new business, and the first item is a preliminary determination hearing. So this is a determination hearing on a proposed construction project. If you're interested in speaking at the hearing, please make sure you've signed in. And after a presentation by Mr. Givney and Stifel, Nicholas and Company, we will have public comments. This notice of this hearing was published legally, and at this time, I will ask Mr. Givney to explain the purpose of this hearing.
Yep. So pursuant to Indiana Code, the school corporation must hold 2 public hearings and adopt a resolution to preliminarily determine to issue bonds or enter a lease for a project which has a total project cost in excess of certain thresholds. These public hearings and the consideration of resolutions are the very beginning of the legal process. We note that no board action is legally required at this hearing. Rather, this hearing is solely to hear public comment regarding the project.
Okay, now we'll hear from Mr. Givney about the process of determining and communicating the project to the community and the need for the project.
Yep. So as you might recall, in the past, with the project that we're working on wrapping up, is we were working to manage to our tax rate and take care of some capital project needs throughout the district. And we have some capacity to potentially issue some debt to take care of some capital project needs. And so we have just additional things that are at the end of life: flooring, painting, parking lots, lighting, particularly in Parker Auditorium. Just some of those things that we can't solely take care of through our operations fund. And so we're looking at a smaller, much smaller bond issue in the range of $2 to $2.5 million, of which you'll hear more about tonight to take care of some of those potential needs.
Okay, we will now hear from Stifel, Nicholas and Company about how the proposed project will be financed, as well as information about the effect on the typical property taxpayer.
Good evening, Luke.
Good evening.
People. I think most of you guys have been through this process before, at least in the last 1 or 2 bond issues that we've done. So as Mr. Givney stated, this is purely informational. No action is taking. We're talking about how this could layer into your potential debt service rate and also the maximum parameters. Once we set those maximum parameters, we can always come down from them. We can never go above those parameters. So, is there?
Oh, Corey will advance up your slides.
So the first thing that we look at anytime we're looking at new bond issues, of course, what are your outstanding debt payments? So in 2023, 2024, you'll see those payments were essentially even, but you'll see there's a drop beginning in 2025, and it kind of stair steps down all the way to 2029. And how that correlates to your debt service tax rate on the next slide. So again, in 2023 and 2024, you'll see this chart looks very similar to what was on the prior page. In 23 and 24, we maintained the school corporation's debt service rate of 0.6199. Again, there's a drop beginning in 2025 as some of those payments start to fall off. Again, stair stepping down all the way to that 2029 and 2030 time frame. Again, this is just assuming no bond issuance, but you'll see on the next slide how we'll layer in this $2.5 million bond issue. So in gray, again, is on the previous, what was on the previous page, the existing debt service rate. In blue is the proposed $2.5 million 2024 general obligation bonds, and you'll see how that layers in. Really, we're trying to manage to that 0.6199, so we're able to issue these bonds, not increase the debt service tax rate, keep it at that 0.61999 through 2026, and then leave tax rate flexibility beginning in 2027. So really kind of two goals in mind: one, not increase the tax rate, but then also not hamstring for the future, knowing that there's additional needs coming up. School corporations have ongoing needs, so kind of have that in mind as well to really just manage the rate and flexibility after that. In this last slide, if you do decide to move forward at the May meeting, there would be a resolution that would be in there. You're going to have all of these numbers in the resolution. Again, these are maximum numbers. We can always come down from these. So the $2.5 million, as we showed on the previous page, on how that will layer into your debt service tax rate. Of that $2.5 million, approximately $150,000 will go to pay cost of issuance, professional fees, leaving approximately $2,350,000 for parking stall project costs. The estimated maximum interest rate of 6%. If you sold the bonds today, you're probably closer to 4%, but this is just the first step in the process. So we like to be conservative with these parameters, knowing that the interest rate market can be volatile from time to time. So the estimated expense there is just over $500,000. Maximum final maturity of Jan 15, 2036, which was noted on the previous slide. We expect to pay that off quite a bit earlier. The maximum annual payment is simply the maximum payment that the school corporation would be allowed to have on this bond issue would be $1 million. If you simply divide that by the school corporation's net assessed value, that is where you get the maximum tax rate impact of 0.1910. That does not account for any debt service payments falling off that we showed on the previous slide. When you do factor that in, that is where you get the important line there, the incremental tax rate over the 2024 debt service rate net zero that we showed in the previous slide. There's a couple of ratios down at the bottom that we're required to show by the state as well. The first row is just the school corporation's max payments divided by their net assessed value. And that's 0.7116 for Greencastle schools. And then the second line there is the direct and overlapping debt as a percentage of net assessed value. That is Greencastle's outstanding debt, the counties, the towns, the cities, the libraries, everyone that makes up a taxpayer's tax bill, and divides that by the school corporation's net assessed value, and that is 7.78%. That's all I have. I know you all have been through this plenty of times before, but are there any questions for me?
No, I don't have it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, now we will open the public hearing. Does anyone have any comments or anyone want to speak it? Make a public comment. Okay, hearing none. Again, this is just for information, no board action. And we will have another board hearing on May 20th at 6 o'clock. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is an approval request, the resolution approving grant to the Greencastle Community School Corporation for K-12 Fab Lab program.
Yeah, I'm scrolling to the page there, so. 60, thank you. Pages here. So as you recall, we've opened a couple of different Fab Labs in our district, and this is to help us. Our goal is to scale K to 12, and so Dr. Hale and some of the students, Mrs. Jadell, Ms. Frank, myself, we attended a Greencastle Redevelopment Commission meeting and essentially shared with them a proposal to scale our Fab Labs district-wide. And the Redevelopment Commission has agreed to provide us roughly just over $120,000 in funding for those efforts. And so that's going to allow for some new equipment for the high school. It's going to involve some new equipment throughout the district. We're going to reallocate some of our current items throughout and really build on our student-run enterprise, build on some of the use in Dr. Hill's classes, build on what we're doing in the middle school, and what I'm really excited about, getting down into TZ, Ridpath, and Deer Meadow with some items. So in order to move forward with purchasing and take advantage of some of the pricing before increases, we'd like to get this agreement finalized so we can move forward with that.
Okay, got to get a motion to approve. So moved. Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments?
It would be nice to have it from elementary on up, so you can just build off of it continuously. So just jumping into middle school or jumping in high school.
Yes, we
Yeah.
started at the middle school. We've seen those kids come up, and there's definitely a big interest.
Great. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next on the agenda is an approval request for some special services contracts. One being the 2024-25 blind and low vision services contract with Paula Bernston. Next being the 2024-25 assistant school psychologist contract with Jamie Landry. And finally, the 2024-25 mindful growth school psychologist contract with Dr. Abby Jones.
These contracts are all customary. There's no major changes, and it would be my recommendation to the board to allow us to move forward with finalizing these agreements so that we can maintain services for our students next school year.
Sounds good to me.
Can we do them all at the same time?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll make a motion that we accept the contracts for the special services.
Second. Okay, a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is an approval request for permission to hire 4 summer bus cleaners.
Yep. So again, another customary end of the year thing in order to get our buses clean, prepped, and prepared for state bus inspections. Like to allow Transportation Director Page to move forward with hiring some help.
I might add, that's something we've been doing for many years, and it's certainly been a benefit to, see the buses all shined up with somebody.
Absolutely.
I'll make a motion we move forward. I'll second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Any further discussion and questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is an approval request for an overnight Greencastle High School volleyball team camp to Bloomington, Indiana on July 12th through the 14th, 2024.
Yeah, so both items E and F are overnight trips, is the reason to require board approval. Both activities, they provide the appropriate paperwork, have the appropriate chaperones in place. Great opportunities for our kids.
I appreciate having them in advance.
Yes. Okay, can I get a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is an approval request for another overnight Greencastle High School boys basketball team camp to Hammond, Indiana on June 17th through the 19th, 2024.
Good. I'll make a motion. We approve that.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is an approval request for some donations. First being from Putnam County Community Foundation to Greencastle High School band in the amount of $872. Second being from Cargill to Greencastle High School athletics in the amount of $750. And the third being from Sherry Walton Holly Endowment to Deer Meadow Primary in the amount of $1,409. Can I get a approval or a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item is an approval request for an athletic corporate sponsor from being Hometown Logistics from Toledo, Illinois, in the amount of $500.
Toledo, Illinois.
Yeah,
$500. That's very nice.
Very generous.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
okay, I have a motion and a second. Questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. The last item on the agenda, close to it, is the first reading of the 2024-25 building handbooks.
Yep. So, again, another kind of typical end of the year type item. This month is first reading of the building handbooks. The building administrators work together to update our handbooks and align corporation-wide policies, specifically for things like the attendance policy, so that way it's very consistent throughout the district. And this month is just for your information only. We'll bring those handbooks back again next month for adoption.
Okay, thank you very much. Last item on the agenda is other business. Does anyone have any other business?
I was going to ask our new high school principal, how'd prom go?
It went, we have a
Okay, anyone else have any other business? Okay, hearing none. Next item on the agenda is adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for coming and be careful going home. See you next month.
Next month is 1 week earlier on the 20th.
Yes.
Oh my
Great.
God.
I'm so-